I never considered myself a jealous man. Trust had always been the foundation of my marriage, a bond unshaken for years. My wife, Emily, built her career with relentless determination, climbing corporate ranks faster than anyone in her company's history. Late nights, business trips, urgent calls. I accepted them all, believing in her unwavering devotion. That evening, I had planned a quiet dinner at home. A celebratory meal for her long-anticipated promotion. Candles flickered, wine chilled, steak seared to perfection. But Emily never arrived. Instead, I received a text, short, dismissive. Stuck at the office. Late meeting. Don't wait up. I frowned, something gnawing at me. A gut feeling, unexplainable yet undeniable. Checking my phone, I saw a social media post from a colleague of hers. An upscale restaurant, dimly lit, lavish. The caption read, "Cheers to Emily's big night. Well deserved. Bottle with popping cork." I zoomed in on the picture. There she was, my wife, dressed in a sleek black dress I hadn't seen before, laughing, toasting with expensive champagne. Next to her, James Hollis, her boss, a man I despised for reasons I never fully understood until now. A cold realization settled in. I grabbed my keys. I had to see for myself. The drive felt endless, my pulse hammering with each mile. Parking near the restaurant, I stepped inside, scanning the crowd. There, in a secluded booth, Emily leaned into James, her hand grazing his wrist as she whispered something. He chuckled, eyes dark with something unmistakable. Lust. My stomach clenched. My fingers curled into fists. I wanted to storm over, but I hesitated. Confrontation would accomplish nothing yet. Instead, I turned, leaving unnoticed. This wasn't over. Not by a long shot. Back home, I paced. My mind raced through countless possibilities. Could this be innocent? Was I imagining things? The way she looked at him, the way he touched her, it wasn't the first time. A line had been crossed long before tonight. The door creaked open an hour later. Emily walked in, humming softly, kicking off her heels as if nothing had happened. I forced a smile, masking my rage. "How was the meeting?" I asked, voice steady. She hesitated for half a second, then answered smoothly. "Exhausting. James kept us late going over projections." A lie. A blatant, effortless lie. I nodded, playing along. If she could deceive so easily, I could too. Emily's lie replayed in my mind, over and over, like a broken record. Exhausting? Projections? I had seen the truth, her laughter, her whispered words, the way James's hand lingered on hers. The meeting never existed. She had spent the evening celebrating with another man, completely oblivious to the fact that I had seen everything. But I didn't confront her. Not yet. Instead, I did something far more dangerous. I studied her. Over the next week, I noticed things I had ignored before. The way she clutched her phone tighter than usual. The soft giggles over hushed conversations. The mysterious scent of cologne, one that didn't belong to me. She was growing careless, confident that I would never suspect a thing. One night, while she showered, I picked up her phone. Locked, of course. But Emily had always been predictable. I typed in her birthdate. Nothing. Our wedding anniversary. Still nothing. Then, I tried something different. James's birth year. The screen unlocked. My stomach turned. My hands trembled as I scrolled through messages. James. Can't stop thinking about last night. You were incredible. Emily. You bring out the best in me, winking face. James. Next time, no rushing. I want to take my time with you. Emily, Friday. The Chancellor Hotel. Room 714. I nearly dropped the phone. Proof. Undeniable, disgusting proof. I exhaled slowly, forcing down the rage bubbling inside me. Smashing the phone wouldn't change anything. Screaming wouldn't undo what she had done. If Emily thought she could deceive me, she was in for a surprise. That Friday, she left in a rush, dressed far too elegantly for a so-called networking event. I followed. She drove straight to the Chancellor Hotel. My hands gripped the steering wheel as I watched her step inside. Her phone was already in her hand, likely texting James. Her smile was radiant. Excited. Not the expression of a guilty wife, but of a woman eager for the touch of another man. I clenched my jaw and waited. 15 minutes later, I saw him. James. Tall, sharp suit, cocky smirk. He strolled into the hotel like he owned the place. He had no idea that his little affair was about to come crashing down. I got out of my car and entered the building, moving discreetly. Checking the guest registry, I confirmed it. Room 714. I took the stairs instead of the elevator, my pulse hammering with every step. By the time I reached their floor, I stood outside their door, breathing heavily. Laughter. Soft moans. The unmistakable sounds of betrayal. My fingers curled into a fist. I wanted to kick down the door, drag him out, make him suffer. But I stopped myself. Confrontation wasn't enough. I needed to destroy them both in a way they'd never recover from. Pulling out my phone, I snapped photos. Captured audio. Every sigh, every whisper, every filthy declaration they shared. Evidence. Solid, undeniable evidence. Then, I turned and walked away, a plan already forming in my mind. Emily had played her game well, but I was about to play it better. The next morning, Emily woke beside me, stretching lazily, completely unaware that her secret had been exposed. She kissed my cheek, murmuring a sleepy, morning love, as if she hadn't spent the night tangled in another man's arms. I forced a smile. Morning. She hummed softly while making coffee, scrolling through her phone like nothing had changed. But everything had. I knew the truth, and now I had the power. That afternoon, I put my plan into motion. I contacted a private investigator, an older man named Callahan, recommended by a friend. His reputation was spotless, his methods ruthless. I handed him the evidence I had collected and told him to dig deeper. If Emily and James had been reckless enough to meet at a hotel, there had to be more. 2 days later, Callahan delivered. "They've been at this for months," he said, sliding a thick envelope across the table. Inside were photos, text logs, transaction records, expensive gifts, jewelry, designer bags, weekend getaways, all charged to James's corporate account. They weren't just sneaking around, they were flaunting it. A video file played on my phone. Security footage from another hotel weeks earlier. Emily stepping out of a room, hair tousled, lips swollen, adjusting her blouse. My fingers tightened around the device. She had been so careful with me, so good at pretending, yet careless everywhere else. Arrogant. Stupid. That's when I realized, I wasn't going to confront her with anger. I wasn't going to scream, cry, or beg for an explanation. No, that wasn't enough. I was going to take everything away from her, piece by piece. Emily had another business dinner scheduled for Friday night. I smiled to myself. Perfect. Friday night. I arrived at the Chancellor Hotel before her, booking the room directly across from James's suite. I wanted a front-row seat to her final performance. Sure enough, at exactly 8:47 p.m., Emily walked in, dressed to seduce, her expression glowing with anticipation. James arrived minutes later, his hand grazing her lower back as they stepped into the elevator together. I sat in my room, waiting. 20 minutes later, the sounds of their betrayal drifted through the thin walls. I hit record. My phone captured everything. Every whispered promise. Every moan. Every betrayal. Once I had enough, I sent the files to an email address. Not Emily's. Not James's. But his wife's. Subject: Your husband's promotion comes with benefits. Attachments, pictures, videos, screenshot. I pressed send. Now all I had to do was wait. The next morning, I woke to chaos. My phone buzzed nonstop. Calls, messages, missed notifications. I smirked. The storm had begun. Emily's betrayal had been hidden in the shadows for too long. Now it was in the light for everyone to see. I strolled into the kitchen, whistling. Emily stood by the counter, pale, gripping her phone with shaking hands. She hadn't noticed me yet. "What's wrong, babe?" I asked casually. She flinched, eyes darting to mine. I don't know." A blatant lie. I poured my coffee, pretending not to see the panic in her expression. "Work drama." Her phone buzzed again. She gasped. I already knew what she had seen. James's wife, Olivia, was a lawyer. A damn good one. The kind of woman who didn't tolerate betrayal. When she received my email, she hadn't just confronted James. She went nuclear. James was fired. Publicly humiliated. His assets frozen. His accounts under scrutiny for embezzling company funds on his mistress, Emily. She turned to me suddenly. "Something happened with James." I sipped my coffee, feigning concern. "Oh." Her voice wavered. "Someone sent his wife stuff. Pictures. Messages. Videos." I tilted my head. "Wow. That's brutal." Emily swallowed hard, eyes searching mine. "I think it was you." I smiled. Not a denial. Not an admission. Just a slow, knowing smile. Her breath hitched. She realized. "You knew," she whispered. I set my mug down. "I've known for weeks." Her lip trembled. "I can explain." I held up a hand. "Don't. You made your choices. Now you live with them." Her phone rang. "James." She declined. It rang again. Olivia's number. She declined that too. "What happens now?" she asked, voice barely above a whisper. I stepped closer, lowering my voice to match hers. "Now? You pack. You leave. You find out what life looks like without me." Tears welled in her eyes. "You don't mean that." I stepped back, gesturing to the door. "You celebrated your promotion with your boss, laughing, toasting, completely oblivious. Did you think there wouldn't be consequences?" Emily broke. She sobbed, pleading, but I had nothing left to give. By nightfall, she was gone. And I? I poured myself another drink, sat by the window, and smiled. Because for the first time in a long time, I felt free.